Welcome back to Rapture Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get ready for another story you won't forget. Let's dive back to the story. Eleanor Hayes wiped the sweat from her brow as she arranged the last ripe tomatoes on her small wooden stall. The morning sun was already harsh, but she had no choice. Her meager earnings depended on each fruit sold. Her daughter, Isabella, helped by sweeping the dusty ground, their small hands trembling from fatigue yet determined. Life had been cruel since Eleanor lost her husband, leaving her to fend for the two of them in a city that often turned a blind eye to hardship. Customers passed, bargaining hard, yet Eleanor offered a smile, hiding her worry over their dwindling savings. She had just enough to buy a little food for the day and pay the rent, but the fear of tomorrow never left her mind. As she handed change to a customer, a boy stumbled nearby, clutching a folded school receipt, tears streaming down his cheeks. Oliver Clark had run as fast as he could, only to realize his school fees had slipped from his pocket somewhere along the crowded street. Panic consumed him. He knew the punishment that awaited him at home. His stepmother, Linda, had no tolerance for mistakes, and his father was too proud to intervene. Sitting on the curb, he buried his face in his hands, the heavy reality of his poverty weighing on him. Eleanor noticed the boy's distress, her heart tugged by his helplessness. With only her last 5,000 naira in her pocket, she approached cautiously, asking softly what had happened. When she learned of Oliver's plight, she didn't hesitate. Handing over all she had, she whispered words of encouragement, telling him to never give up. Oliver's eyes widened in disbelief, and with a trembling voice, he promised to repay her kindness someday. That small act would plant a seed of hope that neither of them realized would shape their lives forever. Days passed, and hardship struck Eleanor anew. The city authorities demolished her stall, citing an outdated permit, leaving her with no source of income. Their cruel landlord soon followed, evicting Eleanor and Isabella from their small home. Desperate, they wandered through unfamiliar streets until fate guided them to Margaret Lawson, a generous neighbor who offered them temporary shelter and guidance to restart their lives. Eleanor, grateful yet humiliated, took odd jobs, but she never wavered in teaching Isabella the values of hard work and resilience. They moved to a quieter part of the city, where Eleanor rented a tiny room above a bakery, selling fruits at nearby markets whenever she could. The hardship seemed endless, but Eleanor clung to the hope that life might someday reward their perseverance. Meanwhile, Oliver Clark's home was no less turbulent. His stepmother's anger grew daily, and the threat of eviction hung over the family like a dark cloud. One evening, desperate to provide a chance for his son, Richard Clark, Oliver's father, spent their last savings on a lottery ticket, a final gamble against despair. Against all odds, fortune smiled upon them, and they won an unimaginable 100 million naira. The wind of change swept through their lives. Debts were cleared, a new house acquired, and Oliver's education secured at a prestigious school. With opportunities now at his fingertips, Oliver worked tirelessly, never forgetting the widow who had once given him a lifeline when he had nothing. That promise stayed etched in his heart, fueling his drive to become a man capable of repaying the debt of kindness. Years rolled by, and Oliver Clark transformed into a successful businessman, known for his intelligence and generosity. Yet the memory of Eleanor Hayes remained vivid, a beacon of humanity in his youth. Despite immense wealth and recognition, he never ceased to search for the woman who had changed his life with such a selfless act. Across the city, Eleanor and Isabella had settled into a modest rhythm of life. Isabella graduated from university, her intellect and determination shining, yet employment opportunities eluded her. Together, mother and daughter persisted, selling fruits and keeping the household afloat, never expecting their fortunes to change dramatically. One fateful day, Richard Clark, now a wealthy and respected man, visited the market for fresh produce. He noticed Isabella's poise, intelligence, and charm, qualities that distinguished her from the crowd. Impressed, he offered her a position as a cook in his estate, a gesture that promised stability for the struggling young woman. Isabella accepted, hesitant but hopeful, and soon found herself navigating the grandeur of a world she had only imagined. Within the estate's walls, she met Oliver, unaware of their deep, intertwined pasts. The connection was immediate, built on shared values and mutual respect, sparking a bond that grew stronger with each passing day. Oliver, unaware that Isabella was the daughter of the woman who had saved him, found himself drawn to her integrity, warmth, and resilience. Their conversations revealed mutual admiration and a surprising alignment of dreams. As their friendship deepened, Oliver recognized qualities he longed from a partner: kindness, strength, and authenticity. When he proposed marriage, he expressed his wish to meet Isabella's mother to seek her blessing, unaware that the reunion would unlock a lifetime of memories and emotions. Eleanor, now older but carrying the same warmth in her eyes, welcomed Oliver with hospitality. Yet the moment their gazes met, recognition struck like lightning. Tears streamed down Eleanor's face as she realized the boy she had once helped had grown into a man of incredible success. Oliver knelt, recounting the promise he had made as a child and expressing his gratitude for her selflessness. Emotions overflowed, bridging years of hardship and resilience with one heartfelt reunion. The bond of kindness, once simple and spontaneous, now manifested into life-changing circumstances for Eleanor and Isabella. Overwhelmed by joy, Eleanor accepted a gift of 10 million naira and a fully furnished house from Oliver, a gesture ensuring her comfort for the rest of her life. The circle of generosity was complete, a testament to the enduring power of a single selfless act. Preparations for the wedding commenced, and the city buzzed with anticipation. The union of Oliver Clark and Isabella Hayes symbolized more than romantic love. It was a celebration of perseverance, gratitude, and the transformative ripple of kindness. Eleanor oversaw the arrangements, her heart swelling with pride, knowing her past sacrifices had led to this moment. Friends and family gathered, witnessing not only the merging of two lives, but also the full-circle triumph of good over hardship. The ceremony itself was a spectacle of joy, laughter, and tears, illuminating the remarkable journey from struggle to abundance. On the wedding day, Eleanor stood beside Isabella, her hands trembling with happiness. The atmosphere was filled with warmth, stories of resilience, and the admiration of all who knew their journey. Oliver's eyes never left Isabella, and his gratitude towards Eleanor was evident in every glance and gesture. The celebration became a vivid portrait of hope realized, dreams fulfilled, and the extraordinary outcomes of selfless acts. For Eleanor, it was a moment of vindication and relief, a life once full of struggle now transformed by love, fortune, and the integrity of those she had helped. As years passed, Eleanor became a grandmother to twin boys, basking in the peace and comfort she had long dreamed of. Her life, once dictated by struggle and survival, now overflowed with joy, familial love, and a sense of fulfillment. She often reflected on the day she gave her last naira to a crying boy, realizing that kindness sown without expectation had returned in ways she could never have imagined. The story of Eleanor Hayes, Isabella, and Oliver Clark became a beacon of inspiration, a living testament to the transformative power of generosity and human connection. The Hayes and Clark families thrived, their lives intertwined by the delicate threads of fate and compassion. Community members often marveled at their fortune, unaware of the humble beginnings that had shaped their character and values. Oliver, now a respected figure in business and philanthropy, continued to honor the memory of Eleanor's generosity by mentoring young individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds. Isabella, too, championed causes for education and women's empowerment, ensuring that the legacy of kindness continued beyond their immediate family. Together, Oliver and Isabella built a life of balance, love, and purpose, grounded in the lessons of humility and gratitude. Their home resonated with laughter, learning, and shared values, a stark contrast to the uncertainty and scarcity they had both witnessed in their early lives. Eleanor often sat by the window, watching the children play, reflecting on the journey from struggle to security. The sense of fulfillment was profound, a quiet acknowledgement that one small act of selflessness had altered the trajectory of 3 lives forever. Even as time moved forward, the memory of Eleanor's act remained central to Oliver's identity. He often recounted the story to his children, emphasizing the importance of compassion, courage, and the ripple effect of helping others without expectation. Isabella reinforced these lessons, sharing her mother's strength and perseverance with the next generation. Their family became a living embodiment of the principle that generosity, no matter how small, can change destinies and sow seeds for a better future. The Clark estate grew into a hub of community service and mentorship, driven by Oliver and Isabella's vision to give back. They sponsored education programs, provided grants for small businesses, and created initiatives for underprivileged youth. Eleanor, now revered as a matriarch with wisdom and grace, contributed by offering guidance and support, ensuring that the lessons of resilience and kindness were passed down. Her days, once marked by struggle, were now filled with purpose, connection, and gratitude. In quiet moments, Eleanor would recall the long journey from a small fruit stall to a life of comfort, surrounded by a loving family and fulfilled children. She understood that her act of giving to a desperate child had not been in vain. It had set in motion events that reshaped destinies, including her own. Every smile, every success, and every moment of joy for her daughter and Oliver reminded her that selfless generosity holds transformative power, often in ways unseen. The story of Oliver Clark and Eleanor Hayes transcended personal triumphs. It became a tale whispered among the market stalls, schools, and neighborhoods, inspiring countless individuals to act with empathy and courage. Those who knew the history of their lives understood that the smallest gestures of kindness can ripple through time, creating legacies that outlive material wealth. Eleanor's journey illustrated that giving from a heart, even when resources are scarce, can yield blessings unimaginable. Even as grandchildren grew, Eleanor continued to teach them lessons of compassion, responsibility, and humility. She often reminded them that true wealth was not measured in naira or possessions, but in the love and kindness shared with others. Oliver and Isabella supported these teachings, ensuring that the values shaping their family's destiny were deeply rooted in empathy, integrity, and gratitude. The Hayes-Clark household became a beacon of hope, demonstrating how lives could be uplifted and transformed through persistent virtue. Ultimately, Eleanor Hayes' life came full circle. From a poor widow with little to her name, she became a grandmother surrounded by love, security, and respect. Oliver Clark fulfilled the promise he had made as a boy, repaying the debt of kindness that had altered his path forever. Isabella's unwavering support and intellect had bridged the gap between struggle and opportunity, cementing a partnership built on mutual respect and shared history. Together, they exemplified how generosity, courage, and perseverance can create legacies that resonate across generations. The final chapter of their story was not merely the wedding or the gifts, but the enduring relationships and lessons passed down. Eleanor's sacrifice had sown a harvest of hope, love, and success, proving that a single act of kindness could ignite a chain reaction spanning decades. Their story became a timeless reminder that compassion holds immeasurable power, shaping futures, mending wounds, and uniting hearts. From tears on a roadside to the laughter of grandchildren, the journey of Eleanor, Isabella, and Oliver stood as a testament to humanity's capacity for empathy and redemption. Even in quiet reflection, Eleanor would sometimes revisit the memory of that day when she gave Oliver her last 5,000 naira. The act, born out of instinct and compassion, had set forth a lifetime of blessings. It reminded her and all who knew her story that the choices made with a pure heart, no matter how small, can ripple through time, transforming lives, healing wounds, and creating a legacy of enduring love. In the Hayes-Clark family, generosity was no longer just an act, it was a heritage. That's all for today. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.